All right. Welcome back, everybody. Zane, what's happening, my friend? Great to have you. I'm doing well. How you doing? Alrighty. Let's get cracking with it, shall we? So, draw Deadpool and Wolverine, bro. Join the hype. You best believe I'm going to join the hype. I'm going to wait for that peak hype. Orkin, how you doing? Katarina, great to have you. Rex the Maniac, I learned a lot with you. Oh, it's fantastic. Buddy, great to hear it. Hello. WB Toon Geek, did you go to school, and if so, what school? I went to industrial design school for like a year and a bit and then dropped out. It has been a while. Adriana, welcome. All right, so today I want to do some face stuff, but I want to do some colorful face stuff. So I've started to just quickly before the stream sketch out this character. We'll do a little bit of refinement here, and just as like a warm-up, I want to try and push the colors of the face and just have some fun. And I quite like the camera, like the lighting of the camera, like the face on, like where you've got the specular highlights and stuff on, like pretty much like directly the way you're facing. So that's going to be fun to play around with. Ahmen 3M, hello bro from Egypt. But it still boggles my mind. I'm going to say this every stream. I don't care. It's nuts how we got people from all over the place popping in. Buddy, great to have you. Okay. So, look, I'm just going to jump into it and just sort of while I'm getting acquainted with chat. T. Yosef, I'm a calligrapher, but I love your work. Thank you so much. A calligrapher, that sounds bloody fun. So while we're getting set up and just sort of settled in, I'm just gonna noodle on this character for a little bit, just so I've got a base to then slap some colors on top of. So I'm just refining some of the shapes, not being too precious with it, you know. Flipping the canvas a little bit. Art Robbery, you're a Jamaican architecture student. That's so cool. I appreciate the kind words. Thanks for popping in. Hello from Iran. Ah, my pleasure. Hello, Ro. Tio Seth, how do I start drawing? You have any advice? Get a pencil and a bit of paper and just start. That's the bloody first step, because you can analyze the living shit out of everything. Amen, Thrim, we have to make a live drawing challenge one time. Sounds interesting, my friend. Character design student tuning in while working on homework. Freshest squid, great to have you. Young Word, welcome from Neptune. We're intergalactic. All right. So now I'm just, one thing I've found actually with, what's the the word, with like line work. Going the direction of like the, let's say, obviously going the direction of the hair, but doing it kind of like in chunks, like this, can give a kind of like an appealing sort of look, instead of, say for example, like coloring it all in one block, which isn't terrible. There's nothing wrong with that. Let's get YouTube to the full deal. Just doing like little bits and pieces, you know. And I found that can be like can give kind of an appealing effect. Ahmen 3M, are you still using Photoshop even for rough sketches? Is an iPad easier? They're neither easier, it's not easier either way for me. It's much of a muchness, really. And it depends what you mean by easier, right? There we go. So now, doing the old rotate. Just getting some of these chunks of hair up. Not being too precious with it by any means. This is a color focused stream, I think. That's what I would like, but I just thought I'd get a base down something instead of spending a bunch of time doing the sketch to begin with. Twisty, great to have you. Julia, welcome back. Sloth guy, AI would draw better. Is that right? AI wouldn't draw, so you're mistaken, my friend. AI would steal. Them fighting words, Mr. Sloth guy. Kentas, welcome. Twisty, been a while since I caught a stream, yeah. Great to have you back. So now I'm just filling in some of this darkness. Now a big part of this, right, especially with this simpler sort of style, is getting the balance, right, between this side of the head and this side of the head, because it's very easy to just like split it down the middle 50-50, but then stuff will start to look like wonky, right? Emerson Silva, exactly. Nina Godmaker Art, hello, great to have you. Inkscribe, hey Ben, hope the day has been great for you. It's been great so far. Scruffsy, welcome back, my friend. Great to have you. So, went and saw Blink 182 last night. Oh, frick, I'm still buzzing from it. I am still buzzing from it. I was so just amped the whole time. Freaking loved it. Never seen him before live, so it was quite an experience. So there may be a Blink 182 stream in the future. Because I've done Travis, I need to do Mark and Tom. I've got to go to sleep now, unfortunately. It's 2 AM here. Keep up the great work. I appreciate it. Amen. Thanks for popping in. Inkscribe, are you using screen markers to ensure drawing is in frame for IG? No, I'm just eyeballing it. That's why on IG sometimes it goes a bit wonky. Maybe I should use screen markers actually. That wouldn't be a bad idea. Sticky stars. Have any advice for artists who mainly specialize in fan art but kind of want to get in their own direction? If you're picking up what I'm putting down, yes, I'm picking it up. How would you make an art name for yourself? That's a very bloody good question. The way I think about fan art, at least from a strategy standpoint, is to get my stuff in front of more people, right? That's number one. Number two is not sticking only to fan art. Doing a little bit of your own, potentially like take on the fan art and almost like morph it into your own stuff, like your own original character, right? So maybe you do a post that's a fan art of something, but then do the next post is something that's an original work. Maybe mix the two. Maybe have your original character do something with a character like a fan art of something, you know what I mean? So it's almost like weaving in your own stuff with the fan art itself, if that makes any sense. That's how I would approach it, and that's how I'm kind of doing it myself. And do fan art of stuff that you really enjoy as well. Like, don't just do it just necessarily to just because. Alright, so I'm just putting a bit of tone down here. Kenta, studied your Gumroad tutorial recently. Thanks a lot for that. My pleasure. Great to hear that you got something out of it. Twisty, go for it. I've actually got a question myself. Do you have to study to get a good handle on drawing, painting accurate cast shadows? I'm really struggling in that department. Personally, if yes, how did you? Well, it's cast shadows is just like anything else, right? It's, if you haven't seen it before, how do you know how can you get a feel for where cast shadows are meant to be? If that makes sense. Like if you're not sort of looking at them or even like observing them in day-to-day life, how can you expect to sort of accurately draw them? So I'd recommend, yes, studying them. Like this guy, because he's against the wall, he's gonna have like a little bit of a cast shadow against the wall. All right? So yeah, it's just like everything else. Studying it is good, but then soon after, if you're trying to do original stuff and trying to understand what's going on, like do a copy of something, of like a photo or whatever, and then I would very quickly swap to doing it on your own character. Like maybe you've got like I'm doing these like hands, right? I've like sculpted this hand. I might throw a light on this hand and then cast shadow it, like with a cast shadow on a bit of paper, right? Copy that and then get an idea. Then put this away, do the hand in a different, like really challenge myself, do the hand in like a different pose and see how that, see how I go with just trying it out, if that makes sense. Anna Leon, your face is so funny when you had a word error. I should, but I shouldn't. Like I don't watch back my streams for that exact reason. Some of the bloody faces I pull, I tell ya, it's freaking not a fan of my face. Because who watches themselves when they draw? Like I've got like resting bitch face when I draw a lot of the time. I'm just like, but it is what it is. Scruffsy, Ben, have you ever watched Midsummer? I just finished it, and geez, I haven't watched Midsummer. Roger, great to have you back. Hope you've been doing well. Always good to see regulars popping in and out. Okay, this guy's got like a decent feel, right? I've kind of mapped like some of these, I guess some people call them like searching lines and that sort of, like some of these kind of lines, like where some of the planes are gonna be. Speaking of, plain Jane, oh, how do I show you this? I'm gonna charge my phone because I'm gonna use it as a camera to show you in a little bit. Is that charging? Come on. Ah, it's not plugged in. It would help if it was bloody plugged in. Hold on, follow me so you're not just... Oh, it's probably stopped. Oh, we back? Yep. All right, we're charging. All right, and then I'll show you, if I remember, I'll show you my army of plain Janes that I've got going. I'm pretty excited about that. What was I saying? Planes, yeah. So, like the side of his head here, making sure that that makes sense, because we're going to throw color and light and all that sort of stuff on him. We've got to make sure we understand what's going on from a three-dimensional point of view. And then we can add more shit to him. We could, maybe he's a part of her world, the mech lady world, you know? Maybe he's like her, I don't know, brother or something, who knows? Not a clue. Maybe we give him like, yeah, like now he's in a spacesuit. It's as simple as that. But to start with, we've got a good base. Now the question is, do I clean the line work up? Or do I just go, fuck it, let's just go straight into color. I'm feeling spicy today. Morgan Constrictors. What's going on? Avery, great to have you back. Devi, could we pre-order it, or did you want to hold off until it's complete? Pre-orders will be happening later on this month. So I'll be blasting that everywhere. It's going to be very limited, so keep an eye out for that. But if you're on the newsletter, and if you go to, let me crack this open real quick, just so that you'll be one of the first to know if you're on this mailing list. There, so that is a mailing list for Plain Jane. And those on Instagram, check the link in the description, just so you don't miss out, because it's going to be a first, so I'm going to do these in like batches ongoing, right? But the first batch is going to be pretty limited. So I just want to make sure that people have an opportunity to get their hands on a Jane. Also, there's potential in the future. Now, this isn't coming out anytime soon, but I did some airbrushing. Now, I've not really done airbrushing before that much, so it was a little play around, but just having it half and half sort of thing. Oh, she looks really pink here, but she's not that pink as on here. But yeah, just messing around with the airbrush. But maybe that's a special edition at some stage, you know. Having a ton of fun with it though. And I'm going to show you, this stream is going to be all over the place, like all the packaging and stuff. Like I've been having an absolute blast. Like, I've got to sneeze. Bless you me. Like all the packaging, there's going to be stickers, the tag and everything. Even down to like this little stuff. So I've got like screen printing gear that's going to be helping me out with that. And thank you, Avery. Got the tags going. So these are screen print. I've sort of tried to figure out screen printing, so I'm really happy with these. So I want to figure out how to like document the process of this, because this is so like, I don't know, I find it interesting. Other people might not find it interesting, but I want to figure out how to sort of funnel this into the content somehow, if that makes sense. Oh my God, stickers. Yeah, I was pretty happy with this one. Like, if there's a plane change, there's a value change. And then you've got like the half tone, so it's like it's a value change on the sticker as well. So I was pretty proud of that. I'm almost as excited about getting those out as I am the bloody plain Jane itself. Jason Arts, I appreciate you, my friend. Oh, this guy. I thought you meant me. How presumptuous of me. This guy that I'm drawing. I'm gonna take it either way. Either way. That was very presumptuous. Kentas, it may sound like a dumb question, but what's the utility of this little figure you just showed us? Good question. So here I've got like just the sort of grey version that's going out. So it's really, it's for me, I wanted something like this, like a stylized, plain, sort of like, just to try and understand the planes of the head. And it's going to come with a booklet, so you're not just like copying her. You can use this as a reference for sort of different stylized facial structures and that sort of stuff. Put it under different lighting scenarios. And this right here. So this is my favorite like plane right there. And you can see it. And it's good just to, like, I just have her usually just sitting here just to understand, like, okay, I can use that as like the plane here. Because I do all stylized stuff, right? So I just wanted something a little bit pushed. And I'm gonna do like a male version of her eventually. I just needed to start with one. Twisty, exactly, yeah. It's a stylized sort of a Saru head, but I couldn't find one, so I wanted to make my own. And here we are. She looks very plain Jane. There you go. That's the whole branding of it. Okay, so back to the drawing. Sorry, I'm very excited about all this stuff, so you have to bear with me. Okay. What's the plan? What's the game plan? Let's move her out of the way. Let's scooch him up here so we got some playing room. Now I really want to push the colors here. I don't want to just do like whatever, like is the normal like stuff. I really want to play like I do with this warm-up. And I want to think in the same simplified way as I did with these sort of warm-ups here. All right. Plain cane. Ooh. I was actually thinking about the next iteration of what you call it? Like the male version, mediocre Manny. I was maybe like faceted Francisco. It's too wordy. Honey, I appreciate you. Honey is, for those, that's the name. I didn't just call someone Honey. Dim Jim. The plane is about the planes of the head, not that they're stupid. So you need, we need to have that part of it, like faceted, or like, yeah, I'll think of it. We'll come up with something. Maybe we'll iterate on it on stream. And maybe I'll actually do the whole sculpting process on stream, because I don't think I was streaming when I started her. Plain Kane's a winner. I think I actually pretty like that. I haven't thought of that. So you got Plain Jane and Plain Kane. Okay. Or Chiseled Chad. All right. I've said all right like 50 times. Let's give him a background. Oh, I don't want lens correction. I want to straighten this up. Because I've been thinking more and more. Like, I'm just thinking out loud here. I would like to grow this whole thing into like I've been thinking more about like stuff that I can release. Like I do actually want to do like a series of these hands in all different like hand directions, like what's the word? Poses, like all different hand poses and different like weights, as in like fat hand, medium hand, skinny hand, male hand, female hand, and do like a series of them as well. So I want to sort of grow this out, because I've fallen in love with sculpting. And then I could maybe do some sculpting streams. I've said this in the past, but yeah. So all I'm going to do is just give myself a shape to work within, right? So I'm just going blah, 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 whatever, doesn't really matter. So now I've got a shape. Now I'm going to fill it with a medium value. All right, we got something here. Something's happening. I just hate Ted. What did Ted ever do to you, Twisty? All right. Let's begin. I want poppy colors. I want to keep the same light source here. Maybe we add some background stuff in first. Let's think like traditionally. Like what would we do if we were painting? So maybe let's turn on the Filthy plugin. Shout out, links in the description. So it's a camera, right? There's the brightness is going to be concentrated around here, right? Now I could just as easily do this with a brush, but I like the sort of faceted kind of vibe. Ah, Duncan, what's going on? Great to have you back. All right, and as we sort of go out, like this messiness is what I'm wanting. Like it's not like I'm overdoing the fully rendered stuff. This just excites me more. Now, if Figma doesn't want to shit itself like it did last stream, I might give that a shot as well. Like sort of scooch it back and forth between Figma and Photoshop. We'll see how we go. Draw Arauto. Great to have you. Kiara, what would you recommend to learn stylization? I always end up making the same faces shapes. My first tip, the fastest tip, is get a bunch of artists that you like the way that they stylize different shapes, and take bits and pieces of them. And my music stopped. So we have to fix that first, sorry. Are we back? All right, that'll do. And then go from there. So let's say, let's take an artist. I don't know. Whatever artist you choose. Focus on the eyes. How do they sort of do their eyes in a certain way, right? And try and simplify those shapes down. And it's like, okay, cool. How do they do their head shapes? Or maybe take another artist. It's like, all right, I want to get the head shape that they, and don't just use one reference of that artist. Use a whole bunch of them, and then use different artists, because that's how then you get your own style and blah 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 blah. But use that as a starting point, and just sort of like bit by bit. It's like, oh, how do they do their noses, their ears, their whatever. And that way, then you're starting to understand the reasons why they're making sort of different decisions, and then you can choose like, oh, I might take a bit of this artist in this next piece for the head shape, but then I might take the eyes of another artist. Belzim, I have a question. How to overcome the artist's anxiety, the fear of failure before even failing? That's a big one. What would I recommend there? Realize, mind you, also advice is kind of like, it's not bullshit, but it's like, I can only talk from my experience. I've not had your life experience. I don't know who you are, so I can't give actual like proper targeted advice, right? So take it with a grain of salt. But the way that I think about it, because I've had this for most of my artistic, and I still do, artistic, I wouldn't call it career, but like just doing art, right? Drawing stuff. Is it doesn't really matter. No one actually cares, because what's the anxiety about, right? What's your worry that the thing's gonna look bad? No one actually cares. 1. 2, you don't have to show anyone, right? So that's a big one. You know that you don't have to show anyone any of your bad sketches or bad whatevers. So as soon as you start to see or like think about it, it's like, I've got to do this to get better. It's a part of the process. It's gonna look bad, some of them. And the feeling that it's frustrating and annoying and things just aren't looking right, that's where the growth happens. Because if it was so easy, it's just like, you know, I know how to do it. It's whatever. So if you can start to think like it doesn't matter that much, like take the pressure off. It's a necessity to kind of feel that way, I guess. And that's a part of the process, and if it's a kind of a good thing. It means that you care about it, which is a good sign. But I don't, just take it with a grain of salt. That's how I try and think about it. It's a necessity. Because there's days where I just like knuckle through it. I'm just like, all right, it is what it is. Yep, this is looking really like bad. This drawing's looking bad. We'll just, or just take a break as well. But if you haven't gotten started yet, that's the first thing. You just got to go. Just got to go and do the thing. Or you'll be where you're at in 3 weeks' time, 4 weeks' time. You know, in the same spot. I hope that makes sense. A little bit rambly, but The littlest stone. What inspired you to get into the cartoony art style? I was in the realistic mode for a very, very long time. For like a super long time. Too long. Way too long. And I just like, it was a mystery to me, still is to a large degree, of like how people did like make their own stuff, make their own characters. How do they make the character look like a person, but it doesn't look like a person, but it looks like a person? It shouldn't work, but it does. And it was that curiosity that sort of sparked a lot of this sort of exploration, which then in turn sparked the business, which is nuts. That's a whole other can of worms. Oh, it's Super Bowl Sunday. Oh, I've picked a good time to stream then, haven't I? Catch you later, Ray. Thanks for popping in. Twisty. I think it's also handy to have fun while making, I think it's also handy to have fun with making fun of your poor artwork in a non-serious manner. Yeah, but then also using it as a tool, right? Like using it as a tool to be like, okay, why? Why doesn't it look right? As soon as you start to analyze that, or at least for me, as soon as I started to analyze that stuff and be like, all right, the perspective was off in this one. The lighting was off. I wasn't clear with my lighting. I wasn't blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? You can just, and then it's a tool. And then you can use those bad drawings as stepping stones to get better. Easier said than done, mind you, but oh. Playfully bullying yourself, yeah. That's a good way to put it. So I'm just slapping color down. Now I might even do this in the line work now itself. So I've just created a clipping mask. Really just playing with some colors, you know, not really getting too, what's the word, caught up. Because in the darks, like I put a reel out, a quick little reel on like these really poppy colors that I want to play with more and more. And you can have a lot of fun in like the darkest darks, you know, and still have it read. Because if we just turn this black and white, it still reads. You know, it still reads as like, this is the hair and blah, blah, blah. Like it might not even read as like his hair is blue or got the, like he's not dyed his hair necessarily. It's just like a cool effect that I've seen like a lot of oil painters and stuff use. And just playing around with chroma as well. What kind of music distracts you from your work? I guess it's any work that, any music that I don't like, I guess. I think old mate dunked his head in a snow cone machine. Maybe. That may very well be true. But here, I like getting these like subtle, I still want to pop these colors like way more. Whoa, that's not what I was after. But like pop them. So these are kind of like the local colors at the moment. I'm not looking so much at like the darks and the lights. I'm just looking at where I can play. Yeah. Devi, joy and patience usually helps me there. If I enjoy working on a piece and I'm patient enough to work through the kinks, it usually comes out mint. Very true. Working through something, I've found, is a lot better than just throwing it away. Because if you just keep throwing stuff away, which I used to do, you just get stuck at that same point and you don't know how to, what's the word? Like correct your mistakes, if that makes sense. Belazim, have you ever heard Nirvana? Have I ever heard Nirvana? I certainly have. I wonder if you can ask anyone that and have them say no. Dylan, how you doing? Oh, you're making your first video game called Stickman, that's sick. Devi Animations, notice you don't usually use perspective guides for your backgrounds. Does thinking in 3D help with bypassing using them? Yeah. It's not like a conscious decision where I won't use guidelines. In a recent piece that I've done, which I cannot wait to, it's coming out, I don't know what I can say. A recent piece that I worked on, I did use guidelines. So it's not something that that I wouldn't use, you know. Destiny Art Wave. When you do an eyebrow lift or any expression that's the eyes and eyebrow, it's not the bone that's actually moving, but isn't it the eyebrow muscle that causes the eyebrow to shift upwards? Exactly right. The bone stays the same. The bone's not moving. The eyebrow itself. So, but it's also drawing. You can do what you want. But it's a good little reminder. Almilaic. Wow, live one. I like your art so much. Thanks for popping in. Thank you for the kind words. All right, so I'm just putting, the reason I'm doing some of these cooler colors is that like kind of facial hair sort of thing, which gives off that kind of blue you can see in the reference. Now, how do I go crazier with the colors? Like I still want to sit it in reality, but I don't want to be sort of like same, you know? Maybe I'll just make his mustache, like, just add some streaks of like. One thing with adding the crazier colors in the shadows is actually thinking about the chroma, so, or like how intense the color is. So here, a good candidate for these kind of shapes might be like a really saturated blue or a purple, because their intensity, the value that they can, okay, for example, if you've got like a really intense purple here, let's just do this, like this, like purple, you've got this like deep red, all right? But if I wanted to do yellow at that similar value, it isn't quite yellow. It's like a dull mustard color. So one huge thing that I've learned is the peak intenseness of a color has different values. For example, if we look at this, this here, right? If I just screenshot this hue thing, so that's like the intensest, the most intense that you ever see these colors, right? If I screenshot that, throw that in here, all right, this is like a huge thing for me. It took me a while to wrap my head around it, but then if we turn it to black and white, you can see that there's value changes in the most intense colors, and you can notice the yellows and the greens, they're the highest, the brightest values but that's where they're most intense. But that's why I can get away with, say, really intense like blues and purples and make it really like pop out and stand out, because the values allow that, if that makes sense. So I wouldn't necessarily go putting like intense yellows or anything up here, because it would mess up the values and it could sort of draw the eye away from those darker sections. I hope that makes sense. So there's a rhyme and a reason to a lot of this stuff, although it can look chaotic. Oh, I'll check it out, Dylan. Duncan, a top secret piece, give us a clue. I don't think I can. Mind you, I've not signed anything, so what can I? Okay. I can't. Rachel, he's an artist but keeps rubbing his face. Medium, maybe chalk. Oh, there you go. That's why there's all these, like, he might be a painter. And then the bits of yellow and random colors could work. Right, but I might get away with some of these yellows in the face because they don't like go too far outside the realm of possibility with the values. Like even where the nose, see, I could just paint here where some of these specular highlights are, you know, with the yellows, and it's like, oh, that's cool. Gives it a different sort of vibe. Ishan, welcome. Devi, it makes sense? Cool. All right, I want to start thinking about some of these values though. The lights and the darks. So I might. What do I? Maybe I go multiply? And just like a real light multiplier. Or do I get a brush out? Ooh, fancy. Maybe a soft opacity, because we got to think, all right, so he's being photographed from the front. So all of the front planes are going to be like hit by the light. Let me change. Thank you. So there's going to be, I might even do this where the planes are, just so I can get like a hard line there. All right, so it's got to be pretty subtle. Just rounding out some of these planes. Duncan, Ben, some of your original line work is great. Do you ever choose to add color to just that with, say, a darken or lighten layer? I did a bit of that just before. So that's just my lines before, and then I used it as a clipping mask and just threw in some colors. I mean, I can bump up the saturation there if I wanted to. You know, just to play. But yeah, definitely could just do like a darken or a lighten layer. I could duplicate that. And then give like, I don't know, dark. Yeah, you could just play for a month of Sundays on it. Let's add some of this color to the back wall. Now we don't want it to compete with the colors that we've got. So let's choose maybe a cooler color range. I still want it kind of in the greys. All right, and I'll just use some hue shift so it sort of bounces around just a tad. Now it's looking a little messy at the moment, and the values that I'm going to be adding are going to really tie it together. I hope. We will see. I don't want to necessarily, I want to like add a couple of little bits and bobs of, some of these colors here. Oh, get out of it. Okay. How did you choose, Cubics233, how did you choose a lot of your color? I kind of struggle with it other than the ones on the reference. This is kind of random-ish, but they're still based in values. Right? If you look at black and white, still reads. So if you got the values right, you can be pretty crazy with the colors and it still holds true. Even with this sort of stuff, like we look at some of the other ones, you go there, boom, black and white, you can still see what they are. They still read. So use that as like a starting point and then play. Right, maybe start off with the general like color, like for example, like a peach color for this guy, right, just for his skin. And then make sure that your values are staying true. What's missing? That. I think maybe we could just play. What looks cool? I like the red. I do like the more red sort of vibe to it. And then what I can do is do that, then I can mess around with the levels to like lighten it up just for the time being. Then I can come over the top, and this is going to help us basically give me room to add in some of these darker values and add contrast and clean up, still have chaos in the background. Here I can go and just put in my darkest darks. And then just paint. Am I going to remove the line art? Probably not. I'll keep a remnants of it here and there. But this is where we can use the reference in a situation like this. We can see that the ear is actually catching a lot of light. Right, and then this underplane, well not underplane, but you know what I mean, is gonna catch some of that. And even on this ear, just catching a little bit more light. But that's going to be turning away even more, so it's only going to be a little bit. And then we can make the shadows just a smidge darker. So this is fun just going for it. And then we sort of make the transitions down. To something like that. Maybe add in some of this darker hair. And this is how I do it. This is kind of like a prototype. Right, what I was talking about last stream. Prototype stuff, play. There's less stress here. This isn't, it might turn into a painting that I post, maybe, who knows? But what I'm focusing on is play. Where does it break? Where doesn't it make sense? Like here, for example, that might be an opportunity to add some of that darkness to show the light, like just in the inner part of the eye. It feels like controlled chaos. Yeah, that's the kind of feeling I'm going for. So this is good news. So now this is just straight up painting. I'm not using any layer modes or anything like that. And what I might do, let's group this, let's duplicate it, and let's just merge it all down into one. So then we can come through and control a little bit of this chaos even more and clean up some of these edges. Not all of them, some of them. And then we can come underneath here and really push that shadow because he's being photographed. Ani Derez, hey Ben, have you thought about putting preliminary art into your art process? I'm trying to do this right now and release it all online. Preliminary art into your art process. I'm not entirely sure what you mean. Could you rephrase that for me? So now we can give that illusion, just throwing that, just that bit of shadow in there. Now looks like he's got the wall behind him. It's a kind of tricky lighting scenario. Ah, get you. Yeah. Definitely. So that's what I mean by like prototyping, testing out, and that's kind of what I'm doing here with this one. So this is just like a little thumbnail-y sort of thing that I did last stream, which will eventually be a finished illustration. But yeah, definitely. It feels like Valorant mixed with Spider-Verse. I am 1000% cool with that. All right, let's start sculpting in some of these shapes here. Sculpting some of these in. And what I wanted to do actually, let's merge these and let's even darken this down a bit. Now this is going to give us room to play. It'll make sense in a sec, I think. So just darkening the values down, maybe scooching up the saturation just a tad. But now, if we look here and we just go black and white, and if I put like a white in, that stands out a lot, right? So that gives us room to really push some of these specular highlights in here when we want to sort of throw them in eventually, you know? So that's why I did that, to give myself some room. Room to move. Camis Zones, does it happen to you that you unconsciously know how far to push the pencil to ink the pixels? I guess it is unconscious to push the ink to push the pencil to ink. I kind of get. I'm not entirely sure what you mean. Maybe I'm too high. I don't know. Okay, there you go. That could be it. How do you select the exact level of saturation for those cartoony, realistic colors? Exact is not the word that I would use. It's play. I'm playing. I've got to kind of figure it out as I go, you know? So it's testing it out. Maybe it's even doing a duplicate and trying it on the side. Okay, let's take a look at this chin. So this chin's going to have a tiny little bit of like sort of roundness to it, if that makes sense. Now a big part of just throwing all these, like a bunch of colors in there, is to give me a base to then pick later on. Cubics 233, fantastic. Okay, let's think about the front plane. So I want to get the center light. I don't want to get the specular highlights. I want to get the center light. So this right here on the forehead. This areas here, definitely on the nose. So this is going to make things sort of like come forward. Danny Tolville, drawing at the same time with you is incredible. I feel like I improve a lot this way. That's fantastic. Glad that I could help. Playboy, bro, can you kindly explain how to understand HSV/HSB color wheels? They do the same thing for me, really. Hue, saturation and brightness, and hue, saturation and value. They're slightly different, but I'm looking for the same things. How bright is it? What color is it? And how intense is that color? That's basically it. There's not too much more to it. So I'm really pushing this cheek out. I want to play with some of the brush work as well. Like, how do I, like, make this look interesting? Now we've got to kind of neglected the neck a little bit. Another thing with the brushwork is going with the curvature. Interesting, the color choice now reminds me of plain Jane, that bluey purple grey, yeah. That's the thing, like that's, everyone's influences are going to be different. Akankshakoshti, my apologies, I butchered your name. Can you tell me how to make this flat brush you're using or where I can find it? Links in the description on my Gumroad, it's free. Go have a blast with it. So I'm just thinking about the subtle value shifts here at the moment. So you got that brow that's sort of casting a little bit, not really casting a shadow, it's just sort of turning away from the light. Oh, Eunice, appreciate you. Thanks for popping in. Right, yeah, a lot of my friends ask me how I choose the colors. I didn't know how to answer, so I just said I just pick a color until it feels right. Yeah, that's the worst answer, but sometimes it's true. Sometimes it's true. Now, I do want to, let's get a bit of texture on the beard. It's a little bit too smooth for my liking. So maybe we do a little bit of these hue shifts and just like whip it around. So he doesn't have like a beard, so I don't want to like break the silhouette, if that makes sense. So if I wanted him to have a beard, I would like break the silhouette and sort of add it there, if that makes sense. But I don't. He's got like 5 o'clock shadow sort of thing going on. Just want to kind of keep it within the realm of that. I just wanted a little bit rougher. And I haven't even touched the specular highlights yet. I'm not interested in them just yet. Now here is an interesting challenge. When the face distorts, right, or it morphs, sometimes these planes like will move. For example, here on his cheek, this is a very gradual sort of plane, right? So I want to make sure I capture a bit of that. I'm doing a bit of this as well, just making sure whip that around so it gives it some roundness. See, zooming out, it's getting a bit of the illusion of like photography, kind of. Still some work to do, definitely. Zane, it's amazing how you interpret the reference. Ah, thank you, Zane. Chalkboard, I like that. Polaroid vibes. That could be an idea for prints. They're like little Polaroid looking things. That could be sick. Say your France. Question, the plugin that you created for Photoshop, what language was that coded in? JavaScript. Say you're in France, and also curious how the idea of the plugin came about. I wanted it. I wanted to be able to do this very quickly instead of doing like a bunch of different steps and actions to get it to work. I just wanted it. So then I figured out how to make a prototype, got it working, and then got my mate Francis to help me, particularly with this luminance lock, which is one of the, I don't use it enough, but it's one of those things that say if you wanted to keep this kind of value, right? We want to, let's test the value. Let's get it to about the value that I want, a little bit darker. Okay, so it's around there, right? Whatever hue shifts happen are gonna be very, very close, not perfectly, right? Within this value that I've chosen. So it's gonna choose all of those colors and sit them within that value that I've chosen, and say that I wanna just like pick that up in value just ever so slightly, it's going to carry that through. So now it looks like a smoother transition. I could kind of just paint if I just wanted to say, filthy, take the wheel. I could just do it all in black and white and then just see what happens. That is not a bad idea, actually. Just doing just to show like color can be anything, really. Like if I turn this hue shifts all the way up and I just keep it at the same value that I want, there's no reason why it shouldn't fit. It might not fit for the style that I'm going for, but it should still read. And I quite like this manual way of like choosing the values. So then if we go back, bam, look at that. We've got like a crazy colorful beard now, but it still feels within the realm of reality because it's kept the values, if that makes sense. Ishan, hey Ben, is it crucial for an artist to learn face anatomy for visualizing and simplifying into simple shapes will help? Okay, so learning facial anatomy, yeah, it helps me. Is it necessary? I don't think so. Will it help? 1000%. For me, there's no real like hard and fast rules. Well, I don't like saying that there's like hard and fast rules with anything, right? Because there really isn't. Now, a big thing with this as well, with the filthy, I don't want to use it as a crutch. I still need to, well, it's not like using it as a crutch, I'm still thinking about, so I'll turn luminance lock off and then I'll make some of these transitions a little bit cleaner. I do want a bit of a balance between like smoother transitions and sort of those harsher edges, I guess you could say. I might want a harsh edge of this chin here. Maybe clean up the lip just a bit. Get this eye, creeping this eye up in value. Same here. So it gives it that roundness, and you only need just a little bit of that transition. Again, going back to the values, see it's lighter here and darker in the corner. And then I'm going to go on a different layer just to test out some of these specular highlights. I might want to cross see, now you can see, okay, there's a light source. Where is the light source? Like it's the reflection. Don't necessarily want it like bang on in the middle of the eye, although that could be cool because that's kind of a characteristic, I guess, of the camera. A little bit of the corner of the eye here. Now this is like the cherry on top sort of stuff. This is the stuff that I probably shouldn't be touching just yet. but I'm doing it. Cubics 233, no, you can't use the brushes in Clip Studio, unfortunately. It seems cross-eyed, yeah, a little bit. I've got to fix this one. Got to fix this eye, definitely, good call. Your brushes are specific. No code, they're free. It's just that one brush on Gumroad that I've got, and that's what I'm using at the moment. Do you do contests or challenges with your followers? I will be doing that a lot more. I haven't for a while, but it's something that I want to do definitely. So I'm just catching up in chat. Have you ever considered growing a mustache? I have grown a mustache before, specifically for a Freddie Mercury costume party, and that was fun. You probably don't need to learn all the muscles. I don't know all the muscles, that's for damn sure. I'm more concerned maybe like with the structural stuff, like the skull and everything. Speaking of, maybe we do a skull version of this guy next to him. That could be cool, makes it a little bit different. Is it okay to have a feature request for Filthy? How dare you ask for features, Duncan? Of course you can. Yeah, I get that a lot, that I look like Zuckerberg. Okay, just chipping away at it, poking away at it. How did I decide the colors for the beard? It was pretty random. But again, the values hold true. So I can get pretty crazy with the colors as long as the values are feeling correct. This could be one to actually try and gouache as well. I want to give that a whirl. We'll see. We'll see how we go. Not today, obviously, but like. Comfibi, thank you. Oi means hello, by the way. Okay, oi means something else in Australian. It's like, oi. What do you want? Oi. Trying to get someone's attention. Duncan, how easy would it be to be able to have it do a lasso or brush mix if you do a mark between two different colors? Does that make sense? Ooh. The only issue with that is Photoshop only gives us so much control over what it can do. That would be sick though. That'd be very cool. I mean, we don't even have the opportunity to do shortcuts, which is very annoying. I'd love just to be like, just like flicking around the keyboard, like turning it on and off, do like the luminance lock and that kind of thing. So we're pretty constrained with some of the features we can implement, but it's a good idea though. Maybe in the future they'll open up their API a little bit more. Shaned Delman, thank you so much. Thanks for popping in. All right, I do want to, what do I want to? Clean this neck up a little bit. This is actually a light source that I haven't done before. I haven't played around with this sort of front-on light source, and I really like it. That eye looks a little bit better now. You just scooch it a smidge over maybe. Maybe? I do not know. Now one thing as well, the highlights don't stop just because there's like hair in front of it. So you can see almost in the reference, some of the highlights sort of can go into the hair as well. Something to keep in mind. And we can start inventing stuff as well if we want. We can add like a shadow here. Add some of these highlights in the hair maybe. This is looking a bit off, this whole section, so let's clean this up, values wise. Let's go down to the shadow. So we take the shadow off, that looks all right. Bam, now it's sort of set it in space and time. And I might even want to give myself the opportunity to add in a little bit of this sort of transition between it, so it's not super hard lines, you know. Maybe even expand it a little bit into the background so it feels a little bit painterly, all with the one brush, nothing fancy. And then can we go super? How much can we get away with these like really like poppy, like just like bam bam? Don't hate it, don't love it, because it could give the illusion that it's like rim lit. Need to think about that. If I did do it, it would need to be consistent. So I need to do a little bit over here as well. Not sure, not sure. So no, yeah, that specular layer is making it hot. Whoa, don't want that. I did make this brush. Pretty simple, it's just the other brushes just put next to one another. Could play with that maybe. Okay, let's assess. Where are we at right now? How do you know what the age demographic of your viewers is? I can see it on Instagram. They give you that with Instagram business. And it's kind of like around my age and a little bit younger. But yeah, I've got that analytic, at least on Instagram. It could be different on YouTube. No, I don't like this brush. Let's go back to the other one. And let's turn off the pen pressure for the sides, so it's just like a brush. I'm a clone of Zuckerberg. Don't tell anyone. This nose needs a little bit of work. I think we could even, it's not in the reference, but because we've changed so much of the structure, it wouldn't not make sense to sort of add a little bit of that highlight there. Twisty. Maybe we bring back some of this line work just for fun. And my music stopped. How dare you? Let's add the music back. All right, there we go. Do something with the neck here, I think. And because the shirt isn't like just a perfectly flat kind of thing, so maybe we have a little bit of variation where the light's going to hit in certain areas. How do you do a Behance streaming using Zoom? I couldn't tell you, I've never done that. This is not punk rock. What is this? Better. All right. Cool. That's where we're at with it at the moment. Lots of little bits and bobs, particularly in like the hair and stuff that I could just noodle on forever. What I might do is noodle on it, just for a smidge. Let's do the skull version of him. Why not? Let's move him over. Let's see if we can understand what we've invented. Okay, this is where reference would come in handy. I'm just going to wing it. So let's just get a base sketch going. Imagine where that bridge of the nose is. And this is like a fun way to test your anatomy knowledge as well. It doesn't have to be all study all the time. It can be fun. Now, just because the mouth is pushed this way does not mean that the teeth would be pushed this way. It's going to be structural. So let's just do a quick block in if we can get that, the big shapes feeling right. Then we can knock that back and then finesse. We are off with our perspective. Imagine if the teeth moved with our mouth movements on that, imagine. It'll be even harder to draw. Absolutely would have shifted the jaw, yeah. It's just one of those things you gotta just keep an eye on. And there's wiggle room here, right? It's not gonna be 1000% perfect. Let's give us a bit more room to play here. Alright, so knock this back, knock this one back, and let's refine. There's going to be a bit of perspective here with this nose. Been thinking about the planes. of the skull. This is going back. This is like a box here on the side. Right. He looks like a young Tony Stark. I can see that, definitely. When are you checking out Ben's art? When are you checking out Ben's art? What? Great to have your thumb guns, by the way. Regular pun extraordinaire. Now, something's looking wonky for sure. For sure. But we will find it and we will unwonkify it. And if we imagine like the eyeballs sitting in here. Yeah, I agree, thumb guns. Oh, the face you make, oh, there you go. Mess B, thank you so much. And this is inconsistent as well. That's what's up, among many things. See, that's just like a nice little check. Okay, if I've got like this part here, does it line up? Ghost Rider. And I could even give it, like, I can play. I can make this skull have a little bit of that. Like, huh? Doesn't have to be anatomically correct, because this guy isn't. And you got the neck bits. Whoa, how fitting, this song. How do you draw the teeth? Like anything really, thinking about the perspective and the main shape of them and how they wrap around this sort of cylinder. Now, I'm not a huge fan of how it's looking at the moment. That's okay. So I want to give some character to the skull as well. I don't want it to be like exact. So let's do it again. Let's knock it back. I might even, what do you think, get rid of the background. Hey, I don't hate that without the background. It's more, I don't know, I like that. Accidental improvement. Point Dexter 07. I'm expanding my painting skills and I feel my more technical thinking is getting in the way of freely just going wild and experimenting. Does that happen to you? Yes. Because you got to train yourself, right? You've like I could go super analytical with this straight up in the beginning and go like, okay, there's like a box here, and then we like really like analyze the living shit out of this and make sure that it's all feeling exactly right, you know? Or a thing that's helped me to get over that is to be loose in the beginning and then use the analytical side of your brain to then fix it. So I'm pretty loose here at the moment, so now I might actually come in and be a little bit more analytical. Be like, okay, where's my center line? I want to see a little bit less of this head here. It's looking too, not realistic, a little bit too on the realistic side. Mess B, how long have you been drawing? Kisses from Brazil. I appreciate you, Mess B. I've been drawing on and off for most of my life. So I'm 30 at the moment. So most of my life just on and off. Yeah, not a huge fan of how it's looking, but we'll get there. Maybe we add ears, that makes it makes it look more stylized. I think there's the actual list. Whoa, I don't want to say. So I'm going to add a little bit of squishiness to the skull. So it kind of matches his face. Yeah, I think I agree with you. Ariel Ruff? Ariel Ruff? Yep, I agree. Ah, oh, we're out of coffee. Oh, that actually fixed it. Like a little bit. Good call. Little Doodle Devil, welcome. Persevere, always. Dr. 4COD7, seems like I'm not the only Brazilian who likes watching these lives. Great to have you. We have a lot of Brazilians. Pop in, that's for sure. KI20 Art, I'm fighting the urge to not draw a skull and get ready for work. Quick, do a quick one. Go on. Doesn't have to be a bloody masterpiece. Yeah, there's something real wonky with it. But we will find the issue. Maybe he has a moustache on him. And this is where I would usually just whip out some reference, but I kind of can't be bothered right now. Or do we just go straight into bloody colour? Probably not. But let's just do it. Let's do shapes. Let's see if shapes works a little bit better. I'm just gonna block it. Let's grab a color and just go. Feeling spicy. We'll see how it turns out. Whoa. Could turn out great, it could turn out horrible. We shall see. And the challenge is going to be trying to match the light source somewhat. And it's going to look jank, don't worry. And I'm going to add in a bunch of color in there as well. Let's just get rid of the whites. Get rid of the white. It's going to look weird. It's going to look weird. It's fine. Yeah, you gotta have fun with it. Poindexter. Otherwise, what I'm doing now, I'd be stressed. I'd go, oh no, it's not looking right, it's not looking right, blah, blah, blah. Which it isn't, well, not to what I'm eventually wanting it to look like, but that's fine. It's cliche, but you gotta enjoy the process, right? Cliché, giclé. Maybe I'll try something different. Let's stand up. A change of scenery. Oof. There we go. Eye level increased. Yeah, let's see what this does for me. Probably just tires me out. We'll just get a skull reference. Why not? Let's go skull. Thank you. That'll do. And there's these really deep crevices in here. How's the squint test going? This could, yeah, I'm tempted if I've got time, which I probably don't. Not just in general, to like whip this into, whether it be oil, I might just do that. Do an oil painting of this. So I'm doing like a weird hybrid of like thinking about colors and then values, and then it slowly gets together. It's not very apparent, probably watching at the moment. There's a half circle in the corner of the jaw. Yeah, there's a lot to fix up. Let's cut into the shapes as well. Too inspirational for this point in time. A lot of stuff's out of whack, but we will slowly chip away. Let's even get rid of this whole thing. Boom, boom, no eyes, nothing, nada. This eye shouldn't look larger than this one. Looks a little bit Neanderthalish, so we need to get a little bit of that humanesque balance back into it. I just want to find interesting shapes as well. This is one of those ones where Feels like it's going to be a noodly one. I'm fine with that. I'll break the silhouette a little bit. Might not be perfectly correct. That feels a little bit more, I don't know, better. With a golden tooth, it would be a pirate skull. Yep. I keep trying to drink. There's no more coffee in it. Oh, damn it. April Moose, good morning. Great to have you. Alright, squint test, squint it down. Getting there-ish, as my voice breaks. So this is how I'd imagine like oil painting would be, more so like you're just chipping away at the thing. I like more saturated colours though, please. Also some blues. Also this little thing. Okay, let's give it a little bit of the multiply treatment. Big old softy. Styles Hale. Thank you. Thanks for popping in. Now the shadows and everything are going to be all kinds of different. Sketchy Squirrel, welcome. Let's add that shadow in maybe. Could sit it in the scene just a tad more, maybe. Let's step back. This here. This is a fun way to do it as well. Just shapes and just find them as you go. What I could do, merge it all down. What do we think? We'll do the levels. Reduce the the contrast a little bit, but we also want to keep a bit of that saturation. Whoa! I mean, that's cool as fuck, but we'll leave that there for now. Maybe. I don't know. Then because it's a skull color, I might want to just wash it with a little bit more desaturated color. Just to harmonize it. Something like that. And then we can pop the colors back later on. Hello. All right, back to painting. Let's think where the darkest darks are going to be. All in here, but because they're darkest darks, doesn't mean they have to be black. We can add some of this stuff. Wait. You know what? This head angle needs to be a little bit more like that, I think. And then I would like to add that shadow underneath there. Add these shadows all back there. Now let's have a look at our reference. Something like that. I don't know what I'm doing. If you can tell, it's a big old experiment at the moment. Cellar door, not this stream, unfortunately. But I could schedule that in for another stream. I just got to think about how I want to do that. Now let's see if we can match a similar sort of lighting scenario. So everything is, the camera's sort of taken here straight on. So we get that center light on. Like here, this here. So now I'm just trying to pop out some of these shapes. So the tooth, tooth. Some of this sort of stuff all along here. This will be hit by that center light. I just got to figure out what that would actually look like if the skull was photographed straight on. There'll be some weird stuff going on in here, which is going to be a challenge. Do a rectangle on the top of the nose. What do you mean a rectangle on the top of the nose? Water break, good call. All right, we've gotten somewhere. This is fun, I like this one. More color, more correctness, more better. I'm going to take a 5-minute break, then we might go for another half hour maybe. This has been very fun. Back in 5. All right. What a break. Not asking if you're pregnant, just making sure you're hydrated. Thank you very much, Debbie. I'll be back. Cool. All right. Shabam. We're back. We've got coffee. We'll go another 20 minutes, half hour. Okay. I'm just going to keep going for it. What just happened? Oof. Now this seems a little bit too flat. So this, I think, can come back a tad here. Yukio, that was just on Pinterest. What have we got? So we come here, here, do that. Let's lighten everything up a tad, I think. That feels better. I like. So then we can come in with these, so I can color pick some of the thing that I did before. Straight line on the top of the nose. Yeah, because he does have a little bit of a that kind of thing. Now, because these are kind of like bowls, or like, not bowls, but depends how realistic we want to go with it. like with the skull, because there's like holes to fit your optic nerve and all that kind of stuff. And this would potentially be hit by more light. I don't like the look of that. So maybe we just fill it in. This is a tricky thing with this light source. Shan Nettleman. So hard to get these bloody avatar names right when they're just like all one. I find fantastic. I find skulls quite hard. Yeah. Me too. Rachel, the bridge of the nose needs to be pushed forward and the bottom of the whole part dips backwards a bit. Good call, very good call. So we can do that with illusions. So we can do this kind of thing. Dip it back. Just a little bit. And dip it back. More like soft edge triangles, yeah. I agree, there's got to be a lot of carving. For sure. But I'm not trying to go for perfection, like, I do want to stylize it a little bit more. Like perfection, I mean like anatomically correct sort of thing. So I want to play still. This jaw is out of whack as well. This is where I could spend hours and hours just like fiddling with it, you know. Even that just feels better, rounds it out a little bit more. Yeah, the inside, they do need to be. What I could do, do we whip open Blender? Do we analyze from, maybe not. I think that would be more of a cast shadow. It's got to be directional though. Got to fudge it a little bit. Because this looks like a ball at the moment, so but that's how sometimes illusions happen like that. Things look like they're coming towards you, so we've got to work around that. Yeah, no, the face was easier. Way easier. We'll get there. All right, do I want to crack open Blender? Okay, let's crack open Blender really quickly. Even though the light is coming straight, or maybe it's an ambient occlusion, or maybe it's just an unconscious bias, yeah. Could be both. Blender time. Let us see. If we can figure this out. Hello. Okay. Quick. How do we do this as fast as humanly possible? Subdivision, yeah, that'll do. Apply. Now let's have this off to the side. So we can just test the lighting. Let's just whip some eye sockets in. Sculpt mode. Let's make it mirror on the Y. No, on the X is what I want, isn't it? Yep. Okay, then let's remesh. Oh, what's the, okay. Oh, wrong way. All right, let's pull this out, all of this. Yep, chalkboard, I agree. So it's got to be a very, what's the word? Subtle balancing act with the values, I think. So we got this in here, blah, 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 around thereabouts. Cut this in a little bit more. It's not going to be perfect by any stretch of the imagination. Cut all this away. We're not looking at the back, but I can't help myself. Okay, and a little bit of this. See, this is the issue. As soon as I open Blender, I just want to noodle away. It's dangerous. Nope, 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 nope. Let's push this back. This is it's more like it-ish. Okay, we've got something to test lighting. Oh, let's look at the top. Whoa. Okay, I think now let's go into, oh, don't give me the spinning ball of death. Thank you. All right. Light source is going to be that flash bulb of the and then we want to make it a shinier material, a little bit darker probably. We'll just do it like a grey. And then roughness. And that size of that point light is going to be like very, very small. It's going to be like a super bright, like up further, more. It's just like 5,000. So where would those what am I looking for? Okay, so there'll be a nice little shadow in there potentially, maybe, and you'd have all the shadows underneath here and everything. Something along those lines. Maybe. We can fudge it though, so it's that inner part. All of this is going to be different. So let's play. So this is going to be all lighter. It still could look weird though, so we could could still have issues. And then here is that shadow, super thin shadow. And there maybe. And then, whoa, wrong one. Here. Let's do that. Let's go there. Let's throw that there, and then let's quit Blender because my computer will explode. So got a little reference, not plain Jane Spirit, I know. A little bit of a sneak peek. Not the best, not the worst. And Andre's Rhythm, how you doing? Yeah, I need to be more subtle with it. That was the issues. Yeah, I agree. I agree, Rachel. So this corner of the nose might actually be lit up a little bit. And this little center bit could be catching more light. Is Glim, how do you start warm-ups for paintings? Depends on what I'm painting. If I like to keep the warm-ups kind of similar to what I'm going to paint. So if it's going to be color, I might do something like this, like these little color studies. Or if it's line work, I'll do a few little line work studies or something. But sometimes it's just what I'm feeling, just to get the ideas flowing, you know. You've also made life very difficult for yourself. Yes, I have. I definitely have. But it's cool. I'm having fun with it. I just need to make him, I want to throw some more color on him just for fun. It's just like, maybe not that extreme. Rishi, this is Photoshop. Yep. Okay, this is going to be a weird thing to say, but I get the feeling of like, it's going to make no sense probably, but with these kind of colors, it's very like bowling alley-esque. I don't know why, but I get like bowling alley vibes. Maybe it's like the neon of the like the balls or something, I don't know. Yellow floor, yeah. Could be, could be. I'll knock it back just a little bit. It's a little bit too in your face. And this is where like the smudge, so I might do a cheeky smudge just to consolidate some of these. Values. I want to smudge everything out, but this is where I do like, there's this one brush in Critter. You know what? Let's see if we can just copy and paste this into Critter and just do a little bit of work on it, and then we'll call it a day. Let's just bring everything in. Why not? Is it gonna let me? Why can't I just copy and paste that? I'm gonna have to export it, aren't I? Scumbag. Okay. Group 15. Such a good naming convention. All right, there's this one tool that I really enjoy, which is Is it just me, or did that like vibrant the shit out of it? I think it did. And I don't hate it. Now there is one brush, Wet Knife Plus. It's really quite nice. Because what it does is you can both paint, like if you just really lightly come through, it'll smudge, but then you can like color pick and paint with it as well. It's like a really nice hybrid sort of thing. So it's all to do with like the pen pressure. Opinion, the two reminds me of a vintage photo rendered in a stylistic form under the lighting of an open light alleyways. The guy and the Skelly boy. Fell hid Zanzibar. I quite like that. Sketchy squirrel. Go true. It is truly the blender of 2D art. Definitely. I'll agree with that. Now how do I flip the canvas? It's M. Look, I like the face more than the skull at the moment. That's for damn sure. I do like the texture that I can get from this chrome large brush as well. Grecke can import PSD files. It doesn't always work 100%, but worth a try. Cool, good to know. No, that's not. It's not Pedro. Dazzling. There's some random reference from Pinterest. Eh. Where are all my music? Where are all my music? Where is all my music? Let's erase now. There's definitely been double ups this stream, music-wise, a lot. So thank you for the patience. Now it's the simple things. How do I change colors? Where's my colors gone in Critter? Colors, colors, colors. Found it. Can that just stay there? Cool. Josh Hodge, my apologies. Hey man, super excited to finally catch you live. You've been a big inspiration for me the last month or so. Thanks for all the great vids and streams. My absolute pleasure. Thanks for popping in. That's the other thing. Critter sometimes doesn't recognize the pen, and now it does, and we're back. Sketchy Squirrel using RGB. I've learned as well, even with printing, to use RGB as well, which is kind of counterintuitive to what I've been told. Modern printers just getting better at that. Yeah, I think so, because a lot of the tutorials that I've been looking at, particularly with the new printer I've got, to get the most vibrant prints out of it, you use RGB. You don't convert it to CMYK. But that's just my printer that I've looked up. So just slowly getting there. This one feels very, very, because I've done more smudginess in this one, it's looking very painterly. Which I don't hate. Not upset about it. I want to grab maybe some of these little like skull lines, or even like little imperfections in the skull as well. Just something. All right, let's get a bit of clarity with the teeth. I don't want them to be like realistic. I want them to be like, yeah, the cartoony kind of teeth. So maybe we reduce the amount, or how many teeth there are. Don't hate it, and I love it. KHLLQDS, I appreciate it. Okay, I think that'll do for now. I'm just noodling away. Noodling away. But this is a fun little stream. Let me close this guy down. So yeah, started off with this guy. Tried to do this guy. Not amazing, but it's something. Gives me something to noodle on in the off-stream times. Before we do go, if you like this stylized stuff, I think you might enjoy my 8-hour 10-chapter Gumroad tutorial. You can check that out here. You get the videos, you get the 3D models, so you can study in 3D, because I love sort of thinking in 3D, and that's how I can kind of create stuff without following a reference. And a 40-page field guide, so you can check that one out to sort of read along to with the videos. We've also got the Filthy plugin, which I used heavily today. So that is right here. Right, Instagram, links in the descriptions for all these, the tutorial and the Filthy plugin. Make now, think later. If you like content creation, behind the scenes, real numbers, strategies, all that sort of stuff, I'm a nerd when it comes to this sort of stuff, and so is my good friend Francis, and we love chatting about it. So if you are interested in that, links in the description on Instagram, and I've just thrown it into YouTube chat as well. And one last thing, if you would like to be one of the first to know when Plain Jane releases, all right, get your hands on one of the first batch runs of Plain Jane. Instagram, go to the link in the description, link in my bio, and for those on YouTube, get on that mailing list. I'll be shooting it out. Looking to do the pre-orders the end of this month, so you will get a notification when she goes live. It comes with a base, it comes with stickers, it comes with a physical, let's see if I've got it on me. It'll come with a physical sketch note, how to study with her, right? So you don't just want to be stuck copying Plain Jane. I'll give you some tips on how to actually study with her, do different heads as well as lighting. So you get like a physical sketch note on on how to do a lot of that stuff. So, and you'll also get this is the draft version. I'm still iterating on this, but a high quality, only the owners of Plain Jane will have that print as well. So, and she comes with a base, which I don't have a base with me to show you, but she will come with a base as well. Anyway, Josh, stickers, say no more. I'll show you what the stickers are going to be. Bam. So this is me just designing them up at the moment. So there'll be a Plain Jane sticker, this sticker, and this one here. So this is just the tag design. And I've been designing the box a bunch as well. So lots to do, but the pre-orders will be, and if you want to see quickly, is this going to work? It's not going to work. Next stream, I'll show you the army of Plain Janes that I've been creating. I don't know, I think it's cool just seeing them all, a whole bunch of them together. So with that said, thank you everyone for popping in. It really means a lot. I couldn't do this without any of you guys, and I look forward to it every week. Listening to my rambles, watching us experiment. I hope it was helpful in some way. I hope you enjoyed yourself. And yeah, with that, I'll leave you to it. Have a great morning, afternoon, evening, whatever it is, wherever you're at. And I'll catch you in the next one. All right, see ya.